Hey guys, figured I'd do a video on this, sorry, trying to figure out this whole videoing thing. 2012 Dodge Grand Caravan. Basically what happened is, I work for a fleet company. These are vehicles we maintain for them. I work here part-time. Basically what happened is the driver came in, said the van was starting to overheat. Wanted to know if I could splash a little coolant in it for him so he could finish out his week, drive it Thursday and Friday. Brought the van in just to look at it quick. I was going to do just that, toss some coolant in it so he can get by. When I opened up the cooling system, this is what I saw. That's the coolant chamber. Definitely looks like it's all milky. Milkshake. You can see down there that tannish color. That's coolant. Looks like it's mixed with engine oil for sure. There's a lot more of it on the floor here, but this van has been sitting here for probably a few weeks anyways. I'm kind of picking at it over time. It's not necessary to get this van running super quick, but you know, I do got to get it done. So it's been an ongoing project. I don't have a ton of time into it. So basically I didn't let the driver drive it anymore. I took the vehicle out of service, and they asked me if I tear the motor apart, if I wanted to. I said sure, absolutely, no problem. It's what I do. My full-time job. This is the type of stuff I would do. I've never taken apart a Chrysler motor before, the 3.6 liter. This is what this is. I don't know if I said the year. This is a 2012 Dodge Grand Caravan. I know this video kind of sucks because I didn't video taking the motor out of the car, which I did do, obviously, in the steps that I took to get it out. So some people might be like, hey, what the hell, you know, would have helped if you showed some more videos. I'm just doing this in hopes that it might help somebody. Show them what happens to these. I guess this is a problem with these. A couple lower chains. I'm going to assume that's a counterbalance shaft in there and an oil drive. Again, I have zero knowledge of technology in this motor, so I could be wrong. Sorry, I got a cold. I'm snorting and sniffling and gurgling. So I quickly threw a straight edge on these heads. I've got the heads torn all apart. They seem to be okay. I'm going to clean them up some more so there's no more shit on them. And check them one more time. Let me see if I can show you. I'm trying not to expose the fleet company's name because I don't think it's necessary. Here's inside the cab or engine compartment. You can see here these bolts didn't want to come out. I had a terrible time. I cut the heads off. I decided I'd deal with them afterwards. That happened both sides. So I'm not real worried about it. If I have to cut open the frame rail to get it out, I will do so. Not the first time I've had to do such a thing, so not scared of doing it. So this van's got 120K on it, roughly, maybe 130. This mount was awful to get out, both sides. They were seized up big time. Took me a lot of effort to get them to separate. I'm gonna have to clean them up real good. I definitely don't want to change them. I don't know if I can in that subframe. So motor, transmission are all on this. Engine harness is still all on it. The reason I decided to pull the motor, and I don't think you have to, I've done the Ford 3.5 liter. It says you have to pull the motor out of it. I've done those in the car. This one I probably could have, but since I had to do both cylinder heads, and I get paid by the hour, I decided to pull the motor out. I felt like it'd be better access. I could get to both heads easy. That's just what I decided to do. It was kind of a pain in the ass because the bolts were seized up and I had to cut them. But I'm happy I did it because it's all exposed. I don't have to fight for room. Sometimes having more room is better. So that's what I decided to do. You have to take the lower oil pan off, because there is some bolts that go up inside through the pan. I believe it's these three. 1, 2, 3 here. But yeah, you can see, so there's the tensioners I took off for the timing chains. There's 2 that I took off, 1 for each head. Transmission. Sorry, I'm trying to be careful not to show the business name. Oil pans down here. I'll show you the cylinder heads. Here's all the parts I took off to get to where I needed to be. Camshafts, timing chains, all in order. I've got them marked where they need to go. I got the cam bearing cap sitting on the floor. I got the rollers on sitting next to the head where they were torn off. I flipped the heads over. I don't think I have to show you guys the other side, but I flipped the heads over so I could put my precision straight edge to check for warpage with these heads. I already checked the block. I think good enough. I'm not real worried about the block. But I am going to clean these up some more, check them again to see if they are warped. And if so, I'm going to go ahead and turn them over to a machine shop and let them go ahead with it. Head bolts. I had terrible trouble getting 2 of the head bolts out. I rounded the heads on them trying to take them out. They were awful to try to get out. Camshafts. I'll show you a closer view. Obviously, I already said that, but again, this is a 3.6 liter, 2012. Definitely different technology than I've ever torn apart. Not, you know, obviously, I can fix it. I will do so and have it running again. This is a handicap van. That's one of the shims for the subframe. Here's another one. Whoops. That's not another one. That's a brake clean can, if anybody cares. The other ones are stuck on the car. Sorry. Saw that at the corner of my eye and realized as I moved the phone to it. The exhaust system was another challenge. I've got to fix that. I actually had to cut it in half, get it out. Kind of a pain in the butt to get to it, but it's okay. I'm not worried about it. I'll just weld it up. It's no problem. Timing cover. I'm going to change a lot of seals out while I'm here, clean it all up. Going to do a good job with it because they'll keep the van for a while. The exhaust system's all off, cats. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully this will give somebody some insight of what the motor looks like torn down. There's a oil cooler. Didn't realize this had one. It was underneath the intake manifold. I don't know if those are known for mixing on these or not. I'd like to think not. But I do know these are common for head and cylinder head gasket issues. At least that's what I was told anyways. Thanks for looking. Let me know anybody out there have some questions or my thoughts. My advice to somebody that had to tear one of these down would be to attempt to do so inside the car. I think it'll save you some time. Probably took me 4 hours to get the motor out. Honestly, to take the heads off, it took me an hour. It didn't take long to tear them down. Once I had it down, the hardest part was getting the motor down. Again, like I said, these bolts. Sorry, I moved it fast because I'm trying to avoid the name. These bolts and these shims for the handicap van, they push the motor down, and they do a lot of different things for the suspension. I also cut a brake line in half because the way they routed it was stupid. I'll just flare a union in and hook it back together. Not concerned about that either. But yeah, there you have it. I have to change out some of the strut bolts. Those were seized and broke when I took them out. Again, I'm not real worried about it. It's kind of the way it goes here in New England. With rust, it's always a battle. So that's a pretty common practice. I'll probably try to change out this engine mount while it's out because it's definitely damaged and broken. The rubber's broke. Typical Chrysler thing with these mounts. Front and rear, they break. Thanks for looking.